I'm going to be sharing my personal top tips around costume for Kathak. Indeed, Kathak does have a traditional style and it is also very much an individual style. So the ones that I'm sharing today come from the traditional aspect of Kathak. So there is lehenga and there is angarkha, or a dress style or a four-piece style. It really determines the style that you wear by your body shape, your body proportions, your height, and what you want to create in terms of illusion. For example, if you have a short waist, you might want to elongate, or if you have a long waist, you may want to create a line that is creating a shorter waist. So these sharing of the tips are very much about using the basic or fundamental aspects of what to go for, and then you're free to experiment and be creative with your own style. Firstly, to say that this is one style of costume. In my own understanding, there I think are two distinct costume styles. And this is the first one, which is a four-piece style where you have a dupatta and you have a top, you have a long skirt which is pretty much close to the floor, and then underneath you will have a churidar pajama. And the main aim is that your top is fitted. Some people prefer to have a blouse type top, which is like a sari blouse, and what will happen is the hemline actually comes in right at the end of the bust line. And some people would prefer to have a top like this, which tucks inside of the skirt, and others would prefer the top to be on the outside. So it really depends on your height, it depends on your body proportions, it depends on the shape of your body, it also depends on the look that you're going for. Here, this would be a more of a neutral look. You can do your abhinay or the mime and expressional aspects of Kathak with this kind of costume. You can also do the nritta or the technical aspect. Because the body is tucked in with this blouse, there's more definition on the torso, so that if you were to bend, if you can just do a bend for me, you can see the line. And if you come back up, you can also see how the dupatta or the veil has been draped. You can lower your hands for a moment. You can see that it's been tucked in and tucked around the waistline. So again, it gives definition. And it also gives a bit of softness if you just turn round. How it beautifully gives the lengthening of your back and gives a clear line, so that if you were to bend again on your side, it'll accentuate the bend. If you could turn round again for the front. And the skirt is meant to be quite flared, so this actually goes out quite a bit, so that when you spin, that it enhances your turning. This, in this scenario, is a contrast or a little bit of a complement, should I say, with the flowers. It's a white base, but you can see in totality that the color palette works really beautifully. Something joyous, something which is about celebration, something which could also be romantic, gives this kind of vibe through the costume colors and the style. You will see that this skirt is not elasticated. This has a what we call nara, or a kind of a rope that you tie, and this has been embellished. This is lovely if you're walking, but if you're spinning, it is going to actually hit, and it may even pull and come apart. So if you want to stick with the embellishment, what I would suggest is that you pin it to the skirt so that it doesn't wander independently, or you can actually tuck it in. There is a loop here where you can tuck this like so, and again you may want to pin it so that it's secure, or some people actually don't even have that embellishment. With the sleeves, it's really important that the sleeves are long. Again, some people do prefer to have shorter sleeves, and that's again totally their preference, but again, in terms of my understanding and what I feel works really well, is that when you extend your arm and you have a fitted sleeve like this, it again enhances your line of the movement. So wherever you go, it'll just give that look of a completed line of color and helps to elongate your movements. Some people like to have this fitted. Some people like to have this kind of open. Again, it's based on the, I guess, the vibe of your piece. And in terms of your neckline, it's really important that, again, the neckline suits your neckline. So if you have a long neck or a medium neck, you can go with a kind of a circle neckline. Some people want to elongate their neck even more, so they go a little deeper. It could be a V neck, it could be a sweetheart neck. Or some actually want to have a neckline a little higher, and then what you would do is to embellish it with a long necklace. Here you can get away with a shorter necklace, but again, it's nicer to see, I think, to have the neckline showing and accentuating the movements. So if there is a little bit of neck showing there, then it's going to enhance the overall movements of your head, for example, or completing a line. So it's nice to have that kind of extension there. And here Simi is just embellished with earrings, so you can see how much space you would need in order to have your jewelry and also where your collarbone begins. So if there is this much distance, this will actually help the overall look of your stance. And as I mentioned earlier, the dupatta is tucked in, but some people like to have the sash or the dupatta all the way down and just knotted. This is one style. There are several styles, and I'm sure you can find out what those are. The fourth element of the costume, which is really important, is this pajama or churidar pajama, where it has lots of pleats at the bottom, which is a good base for tying the ghungru. For me, this particular look is elegant in terms of the expressional aspect of Kathak. It's giving us a very colorful palette, so therefore depicts something which is joyous, which is celebratory, and gives a very much of a feel-good vibe. And this would be an excellent way to perhaps start your performance if you're doing a long one, or if you've got a short performance and you have to make a great impact, then this would be the look that I would go for. This is a different style of costume where it's more like a one-piece dress. It's got a more streamlined effect. And the sleeves, again, are long and they're fitted, and the flare of the skirt this time has panels, but has the same function to enhance the spins. The dupatta or the veil is tied, as you can see, in a different manner to the previous costume, and again is there to help elongate the front part of the body, and similarly to the back. There's a loop here creating more of a defined look of the back and the front. Once again, we have the churidar pajama, which are the pleated pajami, perfect for the ghungru, but you can see now, because the dress has a shorter hemline, the churidar pajama is visible, and therefore if you have the ghungru will be visible alongside the costume. This particular outfit is a mustard color and works perfectly well with Simi's skin tone here. So this is something to look out for. And the neckline is a little bit more further down, so that again it elongates the neckline. This type of costume is excellent for the more technical aspect of Kathak. These are my personal top tips around costume. Indeed, costume is a personal preference. There's an individual style, and there are categories of costumes, whether you're looking at something quite traditional and classical, or whether you're exploring more of an experimental style.